Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for September 8th, 2021, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will have a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. Will be very interesting. The only way change happens in any existence is for the better is the collectiveness of the unity of the inhabitants of any planet. It has nothing to do with all the rhetoric and external authority running rampant right now on this planet. He that sees the self sees the divine. All that you see depends on the seer. Apart from the seer, there is no seeing. From Maharishi. All negative thoughts, feelings are simply the vibration of love under tremendous tension and pressure. Every action that we take, every word we speak is an expression of love. Anger, sadness, greed, and guilt are just contracted forms of energy that originally came from love, yet were contorted by the mind. If you look closely, you'll find that everything in this universe comes from love. This may be a radical idea to digest and religiously implement in your personal belief system. Yet I invite you to try on these new prescription love glasses for a week or two. The slightest change in one's perspective can dramatically shift everything. Just imagine that from this day forth, every word you hear from another person is felt first by your new love filter. Whenever someone speaks to you with judgment, criticism, resentment, or disgust, you only hear the innocent love that is trying to get through beneath their words. Everyone has a higher self, which is always present somewhere beneath the surface and is always trying to communicate through to you. Once you have the awareness to truly listen from this higher essence, you won't hear negativity anymore. You'll just hear the love. You see, love is always in there somewhere. If you dive deep enough through a person's words to the root of their energy, you will find that at the very core is an infinite source of love. Just as all the colors of the rainbow stem from pure sunlight, the variety of thoughts, feelings, and experiences you have radiate directly from love. Health is the greatest gift, happiness is the greatest wealth, enlightenment is the greatest bliss, Buddha. Life is a radical and amazing experience. Well, when all that we see, hear, and feel from people is the essence of love. Life is a radical and amazing experience when all that we see, hear, and feel from people is the essence of love. Each moment is an invitation to experience the divine in others around you and within yourself. People who are trapped in only expressing a contracted state of personality are simply uneducated. They just don't know how to dive deeper inside to find their loving center and express from this space in a relaxed and authentic way. The love is already in their head, in their heart, yet it's being expressed through the complaint filter their mother, father, or grandfather handed down to them. Drop the filter, and you'll find love. Look past people's falseness, beyond their games, facades, personalities, peer deeper inside them, focusing on the source where love is springing forth. You'll always find love at the innermost core. The miracle is that by seeing it, you automatically ignite their awareness to seeing it too. This chain reaction awakens the world so people can dismantle their walls, fears, illusions, and resistance to love and discover that the source of love is always inside themselves and within each and every single one of us. We were born with potential. We were born with goodness and trust. We were born with ideals and dreams. We were born with greatness. We were born with wings. All we got to do now is to learn how to use them. To live as the source of love each day, it's essential that we practice compassion for where people are at in their spiritual path. This is the only way we can live in a truly harmonious world. Simply recognize that we have come from one source, which is love, and we are each on a specific journey to fully realize this source. There's no other journey we are on. Everything is for our awakening process. The loving source is who we already are. Whenever we believe that we just live in the world of duality, of opposing forces such as hot and cold, night and day, male and female, black and white, etc., look a little deeper. Gaze towards the source where these ideas and experiences are coming from. If your mind goes blank, great. Keep diving. You'll soon discover the multidimensionality found in every breathing moment of life stems from one perpetual, effortless, loving source. All of the, I think most do that come to this meditation, if not all. If we look through the path of history of what we've been able to surmise, right? Conflict, anger, fear, greed, manipulation, deception, conniving. Has that assisted this civilization in unification? War, hatred, anger. Has any of that assisted in the unification of the people of planet Earth? Any of it? Egos running out of control. Now, all of us do know that none of that can survive in a higher frequency, formatted existence. And that's a decision. That's what that is. It's a decision. It is a choice. In a single moment, in one stroke, you can become enlightened. It is not a gradual process because enlightenment is not something that you have to invent. It is something that you have to discover. It is already there. It is not something that you have to manufacture. If you have to manufacture it, of course, it will take time, but it is already there. Close your eyes. See it there. Feel it there. Be silent. Have a taste of it. Your very nature is what I call enlightenment. Enlightenment is not something alien outside you. It is not somewhere else in time and space. It is you. It is your very core. Have you ever wondered exactly what does the word enlightenment mean? We're talking about enlightenment because this civilization has a choice to make. To stay in these lower frequencies that are absolutely superfluous. Doesn't work. Do we as a people continue to follow paths that don't work, that aren't for the betterment of the civilization, for all people of this planet, not just a few? So enlightenment, not many people on this planet can even hold the state of enlightenment for a minute, a second even. Now, we've heard of samadhi. That's an experience that you can go through energetically. The one thing that you can tell that enlightenment is something that cannot be put into words. Yet, if you could describe it, you would say it is the continuous realization of the divine, universally interconnected, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent being you, we, all truly are. That's quite a mouthful for something that has no words for it. Yet, when you meditate on this thought, you begin knowing it is the truth of who we all are. An amazing enlightening experience begins downloading directly into your core consciousness at the speed of light. The first thing that you realize when you do experience enlightenment, that it happens to you as fast as light and comes directly to you from fully living in the lightness of your own spiritual presence. Although most people don't take the time to redirect their attention on their infinite spiritual nature, so they may not think it is real or that they can experience it at all. I will tell you that it is very real and creates an experience of reality which you cannot compare to anything you have ever had before. It's as if you were living in a dark candle-lit, musty closet for 25 years and suddenly found the door to walk outside and breathe the fresh spring air and feel the warm, radiant light from the sun. The enlightening experience is not something that we can measure with any scientific device, not just yet. Rather, it is the experience of the perpetual effulgence of our soul's radiant awareness. It is seeing this world only through pure awareness, where there are no opinions, judgments, or mind chatter in the way. When this happens, you discover something that turns your entire life around. You realize that who you really are is a mind-stopping experience. You are indescribable, unattainable, and exist far beyond the imagination of this limiting mind. Now, we're not talking about the body. We're talking about what and who you are, the God within it. If you want to have a momentary taste of what enlightenment is, you must do something completely radical with how you're typically spending your time. Stop whatever agendas you currently have with your life. Let go of everything you thought to be real or true, and entertain the possibility that who you are, who we all are, is an undefinable, infinite being, an eternal soul that was never born and thus will never, ever die. By taking this dynamic leap in our consciousness into letting go of all limiting ideas about ourselves, we will soon find the enlightened state blossoming within us. Don't let this idea that your personal problems and life issues are blocking you from enlightenment. Think of them like particles of sand between your toes. Depending on how you move through life, they will either grind or massage your feet. And the most challenging people in your life are also your greatest teachers in disguise. Simply take the approach to explore every experience in your life with a genuinely open mind and a childlike curiosity. Stick to this like super glue, and you'll eventually become enlightened. Life has an incredible wisdom to download into our consciousness that's bigger than what we can conceive of. This entire world is designed to enlighten each and every one of us, heal us, empower us, dissolve our egos. The sun shines down, and its image reflects in 1,000 different pots filled with water. The reflections are many, but they are each reflecting the same sun. Similarly, when we come to know who we truly are, we will see ourselves in all people among you. Many people wonder, what does an enlightened being understand that other people don't? Well, they simply see how everything is connected to a cosmic intelligent web of energy, love, and information that physically exists in between every atom in this universe. And exponentially increasing flow of deep inspirational insights happens with every thought which passes through. It is unimaginable, yet the moment you let go of this small limiting identity, who you've been conditioned to believe is you, and dive deeper into trusting this omnipresent intelligence, your inner light switches on. You'll know it because your body becomes deeply relaxed and your mind becomes supremely empty, soft, and receptive to every possible experience that flows your way. The journey towards enlightenment is a constant celebration of life, living every moment with the recognition that you are intimately connected to a power that is so great, so intelligent and loving that you wouldn't trade it for all the diamonds, gold, and money on this entire planet. This living, breathing, highly conscious, intelligent energy is all-powerful. It is always flowing through you. It is around you, instantly available to you, to any of us, and loves us unconditionally, deeply, eternally. Enlightenment is fully surrendering to this truth every day, everywhere you are. Nothing ever happens by accident in this enlightened universe. Nothing ever happens by accident in this enlightened universe. There are no coincidences. And the enlightened being's understanding of life, even your decision to read, understand anything, is not an accident. Listening to what I'm sharing with you right now is not an accident. Every experience is always the right experience for that moment in our journey. There's no right or wrong, there's just experience. There's no mistakes, there's just experience. Life is the perfect teacher. How can an infinitely intelligent universe ever make a mistake? Every lesson our souls came here to learn is being provided for us through each breath and experience that we are given or that we create. Our spiritual path into enlightenment is our path home. The universe is constantly here guiding us, helping us to remember and reawaken the realization of our awesome, true, radiant selves. Dramatically shift into a higher enlightened state with the understanding that you are not that body, that you never have been that body, that you never will be that body, that you are the God within it. It's a big difference. Big difference. And one thing that all the people of this planet, either choose or not, in faithful energies to believe that they will choose, you see the perfection and the seeming imperfection that seems to be. See the perfection and the seemingly imperfection that seems to be. Some people find that one of the most challenging experiences in this life is a lack of inspiration and laziness. The experience of lethargy in itself is not actually a problem, yet it's your reaction to it that makes it an issue. There are key times in our lives when we need to deeply relax and rest completely inside. The body may be going through profound internal changes where it requires twice as much rest and naps throughout the day. The busy, on-the-go society doesn't necessarily support this behavior, so you may feel guilty or incapable of truly relaxing into the experience. This may come as a complete shock to all of you, yet the experience of apathy, laziness, and lethargy are always caused by an over-efforting mind. Our internal world desperately wants to come to a full, complete stop, yet for some reason it cannot. The mind feels exhausted and drained when its neural pathways are always pushing away from some experience and become congested from being overstimulated. The bombardment of information from people, the news, internet, emails, bills, the media, and many opinionated, over-exaggerated egos can force your mind to retreat into a lethargic zone and feel the need for a deep catharsis. The cure for this issue is simple. Consciously remove yourself from all stimulation and completely empty out the mind. Set the mind aside. Let it rest in its own nature without rejecting it or maintaining it. When the mind is fully at ease, without objective content, supreme enlightenment is achieved. Talapa. The first step toward emptying our minds is to practice sitting still and not moving our bodies at all. The breath will flow on its own accord. Don't manipulate it in any way. Just relax. Practice being unfocused, experiencing pure presence, depending on how much inner chatter you have built up through your life. Cleaning out all of the mental and emotional clutter from your mental closets will take many weeks, yet not years. This emptiness inside of you is a space of pure effortless peace. The most lazy of the lazy places you can imagine, where no movement exists at all. It is absolutely blissful when you arrive. It is so refreshing and rejuvenating to the soul as it contains a pure potential energy inside it that is deeply energizing. When you tap into this pure emptiness, a creative spark is reignited inside you. There is a revitalized sense of excitement, genuine motivation throughout your day. Since laziness is sending you a strong message to do nothing, then do just that. Do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do not even watch TV, read a book, or speak on the phone. This is too much effort, and you will not refuel your system. Simply be completely still for as long as you possibly can and rest in the divine essence of your being. Eventually, your mind will slow down and discover that the greatest energy in the entire universe lives inside it. Truly do nothing. Feeling like you should be doing something while you are sitting doing nothing can continue to drain your energy. Relax. Let your energy surrender and merge with everything. You will find that true laziness is replaced by a real passion for being alive. Laziness is nothing more than the habit of resting before you get tired. Laziness is nothing more than the habit of resting before you get tired. Jules Renard. Nobody has ever accomplished anything amazing in their lives without hitting massive resistance and obstacles along the way. The thicker the wall you hit, the more spectacular your experience will be in breaking through it. If you are experiencing a huge challenge in your life, this is simply an invitation to go deeper inside and step through the comfortable velvet rut you may be in. Every obstacle is an opportunity to evolve and make a personal breakthrough in any of our lives. If we keep revisiting a certain mental or emotional block repetitively, it's because our system has become lazy and somewhat comfortably numb to the being stuck in that experience. The secret to moving out of it and any lazy rut you may feel trapped in is very simple. The next time you hit your mental or emotional block, dive into the feeling of it and see what it is on the other side. Is there a deeper feeling or thought that you are resisting or avoiding? After you explore this, start intensely focusing your energy on what you want instead of what you don't want. Why do you want to be here on this planet? Why do you like doing that which makes your heart really sing? The moment you consistently hold your attention on what you want, you break through your stuckness. You start to experience a mini taste of the success you've been seeking. One of the greatest secrets to transcending the lazy habit to get intensely curious about your experience. Notice what are the lazy thoughts you're repeating in your mind. For example, if you listen closely, you may find yourself internally repeating thoughts like, I'm always feeling so tired and lazy, or I don't have the motivation or desire to get out of bed. Watch what you're programming your mind to believe is real. Notice what you're teaching your mind to experience in this life. Whatever you tell the mind is what the mind is going to believe. Your thoughts create your experience. All of us. All of our thoughts create our experiences. If we get, if we get curious enough, we can surrender through the thoughts, find the conscious awareness that is responsible for telling the mind what is going on. Then we can grab the steering wheel and tell the mind something miraculous is about to happen in our lives. This is like grabbing the microphone of the radio station your mind is listening to and announcing that something very exciting and energizing is going to happen in your world right now. You can't imagine what a pleasure this complete laziness is to me. Leo Tolstoy. The true passion of being alive comes after you rest deeply inside. The moment you truly surrender to the experience you're having, you can relax through to the other side and see what really makes you get excited. On the way, you will encounter resistance. Don't resist resistance. Meet it directly. Greet it with a smile. It will propel you forward in your life in the most intuitive ways. If you spend your entire day unmoving, being like a slug in a puddle of warm mud, you'll probably wake up tomorrow morning feeling totally alive and excited about taking massive action in this world. Just make sure you're feeding your body healthy foods instead of crap. What you put in your mouth is a huge factor of what goes on inside your head. Remember that this life is about getting the most out of every experience. When you squeeze the juice out of the most dry and boring moments, and you'll truly master this lifetime. You can have fun with your life. Be excited again by this world. Just focus on what you truly want to manifest, and only take on actions that you feel genuinely good about. Do not force yourself to try to enjoy something. Don't force yourself. Only do inspired actions in this world because you want to, and not because you have to. As a result, you will live an inspired life. Your dreams will easily materialize in your world. This is what this is all about. The mark's been missed so many times in this civilization. Is the external authority that drags us out, our minds that seduces, our egos that direct us, and cause us to be in constant separation, which is an illusion and conflict. Those lower frequencies no longer serve us any good at all. They never did. It is our awakening to understand that this is what is occurring. It isn't something out there that's coming in to save the planet and the people. It never was. It is us, all of us. It is unification. It's coming together and finally understanding that we are all one. Not the bodies, but the gods. That we're omnipotently powerful. And to stop incessantly listening to the mind and ego. And worrying about what others think of you, how they view you. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we choose to do is relax our bodies. Head to toe, inside and out. Now, when you know you're the God in the body, pure consciousness in the body, then you know, okay, fine. So the body absorbs all kinds of things. It's like a super powerful magnet or sponge. And all the things around us, we absorb, we take in. It doesn't mean we're consciously aware of it, but we're constantly absorbing. So all these stresses, fears, and anxieties are one thing: illusions, created by two more illusions, the mind and the ego. They're illusions. But we have become so trained, so well trained, that we believe they're real. Knowing that each of us could heal our bodies in the blink of the eye. And eventually that will happen. Some few on this planet do it, but not that quickly. And the more we progress in understanding who and what we are, the more this comes into view. The more this understanding is there. The more you embrace the power that you are without the ego mind's influence. So the body, shouldn't it be simple? That we, the gods within these bodies, determine, okay, body, let this stuff go. It's all an illusion. It's worry, stress, and fear. How many of us through several lifetimes have worried, stressed, and feared? To no avail. Has it really helped us? Has it unified the planet and the civilization in realizing that there's only one thing that does truly, really, truly exist in this universe? Love. That's it. So when we relax that body, you know it. All that stuff, you don't run from it. You turn around, you set everybody on the couch, and you just face every single one of them. Without anger, without aggression, without fear. And you address all your worries, stresses, and fears. And they're gone. All of a sudden, you will be the only one on the couch. And then you will learn. So whenever the mind and ego puts that into you again, it starts flooding you. You turn around and do the same thing. Invite a whole bunch of new ones on the couch. Face them all, smile, and they will go. They'll be gone. So as you relax that body and it becomes lighter, there have been times in our lives where we didn't have care. Remember when you were a kid? You were at a certain stage, right? All of us were. And there was a point for every one of us where we didn't worry. We had no stresses. We had no fears. Those are all learned by, how are they learned? They're learned by external authority. Parents, teachers, whoever you come in contact with. So they're all learned. Do you believe that? They're all learned. That's why we shift from the innocence that we are to the miscombobulated, conflicted challenge to ourselves that we become. That's why I always say stay in the childlike existence. Smile, laugh like you did as a child. Taking this life so seriously. So the body becomes light. As soon as the body becomes light, it's the now. And the now is our breath. People say, well, how do you know you're in the now? Focus on the breath. The breath is divine positive energy. Soul comes into the body, powers the body. Lungs, everything goes online. Breath. The breath sustains the physical vessel that houses the soul. Doesn't that make sense? The soul powers the body. Then as the body's been powered, the body sustains the soul that powered the body to do so. The body cannot exist if the soul permanently leaves it. It will end its function. It's like when we leave the body, we have like a little power cord, so to speak, that we can't leave the body too far out, because then we won't have a body to come back to. That's why we can only go a little bit so far out the body, because we have to connect our power line to the body. So the now is it. It always has been it. It allows us to focus only on the moment. It eliminates the mind chatter, the ego chatter that we're all deluged with 24/7. We've got tens of millions of programmed thoughts floating around out there. And any one of them we can embrace at any moment. And they're not ours. So when you still the mind and the ego and the subconscious mind, you begin to master them. You begin to go deeper within yourself to actually discover that you are the God. Now, even though we are aware, to a certain extent, that we focus on our breath and we're in the now, we're seduced constantly by these programmed thoughts. Either a superhighway with millions of thoughts running by, and grab a ride on one of them, or clouds in the sky. But a lot of the times we can be focused on something very intently. We wander off. It's almost like we're not in control. We wander off. Excuse me. So when we wander off, we're not in the now. Here's where it's very important to understand to be gentle, kind, generous, humble, and in the highest of highest highs, of deepest, 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 purest, purest, purest eternal gratitude. So when we float off, none of us are exempt from it. We say, okay, it's not a big deal. I'll focus on my breath and I'll be in the now. And you will every single time, 100, 200, 3,000% of the time. Now, we all reminisce. We all love that. We go in, we reminisce, and we go over experiences that we've had, that we've got stored in our library in our subconscious mind. That's our private library. That's where we store everything, good, bad, and indifferent. And so it's fun to reminisce and to go over, previous experiences. But we don't stay there with them. We move forward. Now, some of us will stay in what we call the past, which is dead and dank and inert. So we stay there too long. Maybe it's because those people feel comfortable being in the past more than they do in the now. So they end up bringing that past into a future that doesn't exist. They create that past from that. They create that future from that past, and they relive that past in that future. That's why a lot of people will say to themselves, whatever we do, it seems like we always end up here. Others of us will catapult ourselves into the future. The future doesn't exist because we're creating it in the now. But we wonder, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? What if this happens? What if that happens? How am I going to know? When is my life going to change? When are things going to get better? And that's suffering when we do that. We suffer. So the now is it. It always has been. And it's part of our learning here in these bodies how to master that so that we're on autopilot, automatic. It kicks in automatically when we wander off. It's not even, it just boom is there. And then we're in the now. And our breath is so vital. You don't have to stress the breath. You don't have to force the breath. You follow the breath as you breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Easy. Now you also look at the body. You wonder, don't you wonder, okay, so I'm the God in this body. I am pure consciousness, omnipotently powerful. So how do I flow through this body? How do I communicate with this body? Well, I power it. I know I power it. So does that make sense? If you power it, you should be able to master it. Yeah. So there's 7 wheels of light. They go from the coccyx, the tailbone, all the way up to the top of the head. Now, some say there's more. Some say there's less. We'll just go with the 7. And that's where all of us flow. The God force, love, light, energy flows through these energy conduits. They're etheric. They're spiritual plane realm, like you, the God, is. So you're not like wood or something you can pick up, but you flow through it. That's the energy that powers the body. All the blood vessels, all the arteries, all the veins, everything, right down to the quark in that body. That's how the energy is distributed throughout the body to keep the body functioning. Then people say, well, why does the body cease? Because you've damaged the body so much. It's been damaged so far and so badly. And your belief mechanism is on external authority, believing what the external authority tells you and educates you about, that you literally usurp the body when you could heal it with no issues. So it's the belief. It's the mind again. It's the ego telling you, you got to go do this. You better go do it now. Go to an allopathic. Go here. Go to the external authority. If they tell you to jump off the cliff, jump off the cliff. That's the ego mind. Now, we know the soul comes into the body functions. The soul is heaven, the body's earth. We're heaven on earth. Those of us who are consciously aware of who and what we are, to a certain extent. And every step we take, we create paradise. Not only that, we shine our God force, love, light, energy in 360 degrees, spanning out in waves. We don't deplete ourselves. We don't lose our energy. We don't weaken. We send our energy out. Because all the gods on this planet don't know it, but they're sending energy out too. The ones that are asleep. And that energy is the highest of the highest high vibrational frequency of the purest, deepest eternal love. And we're flooding that everywhere. Now, when you become stressed, pressured, filled with anxiety, worry, and fear, you become angry, hateful, disruptive, and destructive. And all of that is love under high, intense pressure. Now, we all know that we are parts of each other. Not the bodies, the gods. Okay? So we're all one. So we all make up the one God, the one pure consciousness. We're all parts of that consciousness. So you cannot not be God. You are. All of us are. And we also know that parts of us are asleep, totally asleep. Don't hear anything we are communicating. Zero, zilch. But they're still part of us. So in meditation, they're with us, but they aren't awake, and they can't participate. So we reach out to the ones that are awake and are consciously aware to a certain extent, parts of us in the pure consciousness, the one. And that includes that's basically all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It includes the archangels, the seraphim, the cherubim, the archetypes, the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Abundantia, Tel, Thoth, Yah, Yeshua. Many, many, many more. Includes all of the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Includes all the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. Everything. The off-worlders, the celestials, the galactics. Right. Understand that all of this is in the Guga plexus. All these light energy beings. One Guga plex fills this entire universe with not even a sacred square inch available. Trillions of Guga plexus from trillions of universes in every direction. So the galactics, the celestials, the off-worlders, we're only familiar, very lightly familiar, with only a smidgen of them. The Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Felines, Zeta Reticuli, the Nords, the Greys, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian, many, many, many more. Now, they've been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. But we meet them, we talk with them, sometimes we marry them and don't even know it. Sometimes a complete stranger will walk right by you and make a comment, a positive one, out of the clear blue for no reason whatsoever. They're everywhere. They can surround any one of us in the tens of thousands because of their vibrational frequency. They can hold a large number in a small area. Now, it doesn't dawn on us when we're interacting with them. It's usually after. It just comes from our hearts and that we know that was an angel. A little bliss comes out. They have the same message. They deliver it in many different ways. And isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? And that is bliss. Ascended masters, they have mastered ascending into physical form and out of physical form, and they hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form to master physical form, create our experiences to perfect our creations. And all the light energy beings that we don't see with the eyes that we have, we only see 1% of what is. So they're in numerous color, shapes, sizes, forms, and configurations of which we don't see. The ones that we're somewhat familiar with are the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, and many, many, many more. And we're all gathered, arm in arm, hand in hand, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. We're all God. And we're all love. And our God force love light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force love light energy within each and every one of us. It is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to come close to its brightness. And what is this brightness? It's the love that we're all made from and of. The God force love light energy. And it's flooding this planet and liberating it. And it's helping the rest who are asleep awake so that we all embrace, so that we are finally one again, so that we can move forward on this planet in the highest of the highest high frequencies of deep eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Everyone, all of us. And that's the new earth. We begin to ascend above the planet. We're immediately met with a massive ocean of glitter. It's everywhere. It's flashing. It's like one of those big ballroom balls, that have the light shining on them that reflect everywhere. Except this one is 1 trillion times more. And these colored lights are reflecting all over the place, all through us, around us, above us, below us. So we seek the origin of the reflection, and we notice that they're little tiny microscopic mirrors. So we enter them, and we find that all of us are teaching and learning from each other all the time, 24/7, believe it or not. And we're either teachers and students, or students or teachers, but we're always learning. We're always learning how to be, how not to be. Others teach us how to be. Others teach us how not to be. Others teach us many other things. We teach others. It's a constant. It's phenomenal. And being in deep gratitude for it. Whether someone walks into your life for a second or years, or you them. It's absolutely magnificent. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is the column of light that we created that reminds us all that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is the column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind each and every single one of us that from head to toe, inside and out, 24/7, we are protected from all harm, all invasion, all manipulation, all influence from external authority, all of it. No demon possessions, no demon attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. When you keep that frequency that you are from the God within that body, they cannot come near us, or they will be no more. And this white fire armor is anything like this on Earth. It's way beyond that. But only you have the power. That, whether consciously or unconsciously, you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough through hatred, anger, fear, greed, envy, hurry, stress, anxiety, manipulation, deception. You lower your vibrational frequencies low enough, you'll create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then you will have demon attachment. And you will have attachments. Just to name a few. Now, if you do decide to do this, You're immediately met with two columns of light. We created them to remind us all that the first, purple transmuting flame, we can bring it in, we can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they're no more. Then the violet ray right behind reminds us all that we created the violet ray so that we can bring in the violet ray. We can literally cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies once were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest, deepest of the deepest, deepest, and purest of the purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we all created to remind us that we are the sun, the sunlight. The sun sets and the sun rises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the soils, the trees, the forests, the sky, the clouds. Everything. The rainbows, the rain. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise, a rainbow, a mountain view, an ocean view, a starry-lit night sky view, it is you. It's you. You're the majesty. You're the divinity. You're the spectacularness. You're the magna glorious. The God within that body always has been and always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And that's all of us. We continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it. If we're carrying physical form, we do that because we can. We come into full view of this massive crystalline light tower. We created it. It's larger than the solar system. In the center of the column is this massive oblong sphere. In the middle of the sphere is this golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light. And they're all sending out this misty, electrified energy that just absorbs into us. And the golden white ball of light is the purest, purest, purest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love. And then comes gratitude. And then comes peace, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, well-being, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance, great wealth, happiness. It's endless. And it is us. It is a reflection of the gods within these bodies. At the top of it, we designed it so that the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, as it's doing 24/7 right now. And that's pure, deep, eternal love. And that's flooding all of us. All the parts that are asleep and all the parts that are awake. Endlessly. You can feel it through your heart minds. If you wish to see it, you can see it through your heart minds motion picture. But it is there. It isn't diminishing either. It is getting stronger every moment of existence. Now, we are drops of this golden ocean, and we also hold the essence of this golden ocean. The golden ocean of the drops of the golden ocean. The only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's at center circle. We all created this sphere well over 3.5 years ago. It contains well over 1,500 of our meditations in perpetual motion every day over 3.5 years. All of us gathered, all with the highest intent and the highest vibrational frequencies of total liberation of this planet, and all of us with it. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This is why it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. You feel it. All of this is you, the God within that body. All of this is us, one. Not separate, but one. The gods and the bodies are one. Set the mind aside. Let it rest in its own nature without rejecting it or maintaining it. When the mind is fully at ease, without objective content, supreme enlightenment is achieved. I'll join you in meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Enlightenment is the very nature of things, but has never been said that way. On the contrary, people's minds have been corrupted by creating a goal against nature, giving it beautiful names, supernature. And man was caught in this because of a very simple reason. The nature of things is where you already are. It is not an excitement, it is not a challenge, and it does not call on you to prove your ego. It is not a faraway star. The mind wants something very difficult for its nourishment, something almost impossible. Only if you can achieve the impossible can you feel you are somebody special. Enlightenment is not a talent. It is not like somebody being born a painter or a poet or a scientist. Those are talents. Enlightenment is simply everybody's very source of life. We have not even to go out of our homes to look for it. Going out of our houses to look for it, we have missed it. Nobody knows when you will be able to come back home. Enlightenment is nothing but realizing the fact that I am that which I have always wanted to be, and I have never been anything else, and I cannot be anything else ever. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here tonight at 9 p.m. for our Time for Change call, and tomorrow, September 9th, 2021, Thursday, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call.